I want to show you something as let's appreciate them. Just come and stand facing the congregation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any one more person? Come, protocol or whatever, it don't have to be, just come. Now just stand and space yourself. Look at this. Let's call every one of these gentlemen dimensions in the spirit. These together represent the 7 lampstands. This man, for instance, has been given the gift in this example of revelation. You want to understand the mysteries of the kingdom? Come here. Say this man has been granted the grace for prayer and supplication. Say this man has been granted the grace for administration and leadership. Are you getting the point now? Please take note of the things I'm telling you. Say this man has been granted the grace for influence. Say this man has been granted the grace for prayer and supplication. Say this man has been granted the grace for the prophetic. And say this man has been granted the grace for wealth. Look at all of these dimensions. Now, when God is training this man, he will not train him as though these other dimensions exist. All he will see within the scope of his training is revelation. At the end of it, he will become a solid man with revelation, but he's going to be broke because he has not understood the principles that make for wealth. His prayer life may not be rich. Administratively, he may not do well. But you see, when you add your revelation, hold his hands, to prayer, add his hands to administrative excellence, add his hands to wealth and influence, add his hands to the ministry of prayer. He can't even remember what I asked him. Can you imagine? He was so listening to me and now he cannot even remember what I asked him. Your people are saying prayer. And then you add this, say, to the prophetic, and you add this to wealth and abundance. This plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this equal the body of Christ. Are we together now? The ministry of revelation in this example, uniting with the ministry of influence and the ministry of administration and leadership, prayer, influence, prayer and supplication, the prophetic, wealth and abundance will produce a more perfect bride. Now, this man has people learning under him. This man has people learning under him. This man, and all of them are succeeding in their individual adventures, except that no one of them can produce the bigger picture. So, you continue your work building your people as far as your diligence is concerned. But do not be afraid to let them know that there are other dimensions needed that may not be captured in your experience. The day you are teaching on revelation, everybody here keeps quiet and listens to you because it is your office. Where's my prayer man? When this man is praying, thank God for your revelation, but keep quiet and learn on prayers. Are we together? When this man is teaching on administration, don't just snore it away. It's not only demons that cause failure. Chaos and disorder can cause failure. In heaven where Satan is not, order still remain there. So you receive from this man, and then grace for influence. You may be anointed but still small. You need to access to know the dynamics of becoming a voice. Can I tell you, I pray and I look forward to the day that God in his infinite mercies will work on us men of God and purge our hearts from the guile of ego, the guile of that sense of self-consciousness, to a point where we can allow the various dimensions of the body to find expression to produce the kind of bride that Jesus is returning for. We are tired of poverty in the body. We are tired of lack of character in the body. We are tired of low-level dimensions of spiritual revelation, whereas there is so much more. We are tired of prayerlessness in the body. We are tired of demons accessing the lives and the destinies of people as though the body were powerless. All these possibilities may not be in my life, but they are in the body. So when you come to Jesus and say, help me, he will say, I have helped you already. What he meant is there is a dimension in the body that can solve your poverty problems. Father, I am tired of serving you. I'm a man of character, but I am poor. He will refer you to the body. The body has what it takes to bring you out of there. Lord, my ministry is not going global. He will refer you to the body. So you see, when he says all things are possible, it is because he broke himself and he gave the body. Listen to me. You have to understand this. No matter how anointed I am, I'll not be able to sing like my precious people. I sacrifice my singing for preaching. A beautiful sacrifice, by the way. As far as my assignment is concerned, I used to sing better than this. Sadly, it may not return easily again. But I must be able to appreciate them. Are we together now? Yes. I want you to look at this. What dimension have you ignored in loyalty to a man of God? What dimension have you ignored? And I confess our insecurities, sadly. I'm not saying this to demean the body of Christ. You know this. I have respected and will ever respect the body of Christ. You will never find dishonor to the body, not from me. This is not an advocacy to look down on your pastor. This is not an advocacy to not be faithful. No, I am not teaching on faithfulness. In terms of administration and in terms of the call and assignment, everybody will have to be planted somewhere. But listen to me, I will still repeat that no single individual can carry the entirety of what is needed, but we can be beneficiaries of it. So, revelation, I repeat again, the grace for prayer and supplication. You can find this man fasting for 6 months non-stop. This man can fast for 2 weeks dry. Do not bully this man. It is not within the scope of his call. Let him be comfortable supplying the dimension, and do not look at him as less of an anointed man. Do not use the requirements that are in people's. If I am called to be a prophet, fasting will be my lifestyle. If I am called to the apostolic ministry, fasting will be my lifestyle. But for God's sake, do not bully the businessman and say because you are not on 6 months dry, you are not anointed. The nature of his call, give him the liberty to subscribe to the terms. Many of you here in your higher institutions of learning, there are other people who will be doing 15 courses and others are doing 7. Don't bully them. Every call has a job description and a requirement. Do not use the template of the prayer warrior to judge the man who is a leader. Do not use the template of the leader. And you may find the administrator, he may just fast for 2 days and is enough. And yet another person will tell him that God told me to fast from now until September. Do not look down on the person and say nonsense, you are just fasting rubbish. There is a role that fast has to play in building the body. If the instruction did not come to you, respect the one the instruction came to. You look at a great ministry like this and the face that you see is Joshua Selman, but I'm announcing to you that you are not exactly right. Thank God for leadership and thank God for sacrifice. But let me tell you what equals koinonia. There is an aesthetics department that has produced this beauty that you see and admire. No matter how anointed I am, leave me with these flowers and watch the mess that I will produce here. What you are appreciating is not, you are saying Joshua Selman, but I'm telling you that there are diversities of gifts that have produced this. Behind the scene, there is a guitar playing, and there are my precious people playing and singing with such harmony and symphony. This is beyond what I can do. These gentlemen you see standing behind are incredible leaders who handle various functions within this ministry, and I can tell you they have done an incredible job. Man of God, do you have the unashamedness and the self-security to admit the contribution of others? We always like pushing everybody. I am the only one. No, those days are over. I announce to you, those days are over. Jesus is ready to press his body to a higher dimension of perfection, and no single individual will use ego to stop God's program. His hand has been stretched forth already. There is no going back. Are we together? You step into this place from 6 a.m. in the morning, you find out that there are people who are already working, laboring. We are there, we may be praying and doing the things we're doing, but ladies and gentlemen, there are people who are working. My precious people have been standing behind the camera. You know what it means to stand for that long? Now, hear me. How about the many across the nations of the world who have donated their houses, their churches, donated their grounds, and at their own cost, they have put all kinds of LEDs to make sure that as many would sit down and follow this broadcast? How will you dare say Joshua Selman is the only reason why this is happening? Body of Christ, it's time for us to wake up. Put all our pride and prejudices, I don't like this, I don't like that, throw it away. It's the same heaven we're going. I wonder what we'll do when we get there. Till the Christ is formed in me, till your glory revealed through me. No eye has seen, nor ear has heard what God has prepared for me. So I submit to your work in me, till Christ be formed in me.